friends, so today you're going to learn about materials that absorb water. If you don't know what absorb means, you will know what it means in a minute. But I want to let you know that materials that can absorb is another property of matter. So you could describe an object as being absorbent or not absorbent. So if you spilt your drink, what sort of material would you use to mop it up? Would you use a mop? Would you use a paper towel? Would you use a sponge? Would you use wax paper? Would you use rubber? Think about what material would be best to clean up the spilt milk. Which absorbs water and which repels it? So absorb means to take in. Repel means it keeps it off. It does not absorb. It won't take it in. It's just going to sit there. So if you said the sponge will absorb the water, you were correct. And if you said the wood would repel the water, you are correct. Good job. So absorb means to take something in, such as water, in a natural or gradual way. Repel means to move away. So as you see, absorb, all this water is going to go right into the sponge. And over here, the water, as you can see, is not being absorbed in the wood, it's repelling. And that's why you see these little round piece droplets of water. Water soaks into many materials. These materials absorb water. They are called porous. Porous materials are materials having small holes that allow air or liquid to pass through. So if you look here, a lot of sponges are porous. There are a lot of materials that water will not soak into. These materials repel water. These non-porous materials like plastic and rubber does not allow water to pass through. So remember, if something is porous, it has a lot of those like holes in it. If it's non-porous though, it has no holes in it, and that's why everything will repel off of it, because it has no way of sucking in that liquid. Remember, porous materials having small holes that allows air or liquid to pass through. Non-porous materials are materials that does not allow liquid and air to pass through. Examples are plastic and rubber. So I want you to think for a minute. I want you to think, which material would you choose to clean up a spill? What property does this material have that would persuade you to pick this material for a cleanup job? So think about that for a minute. I spilled my whole glass of water on the floor. Which material would you choose to clean up the spill? And what property does this material have that would persuade you to pick this material for a cleanup job? So if I had to choose which material I would use to clean up my spill, if I spilled my whole glass of water, I would use my sponge. The reason why I would use my sponge is because it's porous. It has a lot of holes to absorb the water. Once I absorb the water, then I can go squeeze it out into the sink and then go pick up the rest of my water. If I used a paper towel, I'd have to use many paper towels, and that would be a waste. Now, I could use a mop, but then I'd have to go into the closet and get the mop and then go get the mop head. So the easiest thing for me to do would to be use a sponge to clean up the water. So remember, something that is absorbent is also a way to describe the property of an object. So think about it. Would your pencil be absorbent? No. Would the mop be absorbent? Yes. Okay? So now what you need to do is go ahead and answer the question that is in the content, that's in the content module.